Hello everyone and welcome back to some more gaming news that you might have missed this week. Let's go to the first news, which is Nintendo. As y'all know, the 3DS and the Wii U. 3DS sold well, Wii U not that much, but their eShops are being shut down. The 3DS and the Wii U eShop are gonna shut down sales on March 27, 2023. So you have a little bit of time to buy anything you want from the 3DS and Wii U eShops. But if you end up with funds still in your wallet in either the 3DS or the Wii U eShop, if you end up with balance still in there, you'll be able to translate that balance into the Switch eShop. But you only have a year. You'll only be able to transfer funds until March 2024. So after that, if you have money in the 3DS or the Wii U eShop, it's gonna be gone. So better get that money out of there real fast. Next news. Saudi Arabia is the biggest investor in Nintendo outside of Japan. That's pretty much it. That's all the news is. Saudi Arabia's investment into Nintendo went from 5.01 to 6.07 in January, and now it's been increased to 7.08. It's more money for Nintendo, which is good, but it is not good where the money is coming from. A lot of people have problems with Saudi Arabia, especially because of their human rights violations. So yeah, mixed news. Let's just leave it at that. Mixed news. Next news. Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are expected to release 5 AAA games by March 2028, which is good. We want more games from these guys. They make some pretty good games, the Deus Ex games and the Tomb Raider games, the newer ones. So apparently these games, what they consider AAA games, are games with over 100 full-time developers, significant marketing budgets, and expected to sell 2 million units. One of these games is probably Perfect Dark, which is the game made by the Initiative and Crystal Dynamics for Microsoft. Another one is a Tomb Raider game that is going to be published by Amazon. It was announced. Then supposedly Eidos Montreal has been working in the new Deus Ex game, so we can hope, because a lot of people love that franchise. This shooting for releasing 5 AAA games is gonna be, if it does happen, it's gonna be an increase from the previous 5 years in which they only released 2 games. So we'll see. I'm hoping the best for these studios, hoping they make the best games they can and that they succeed. Next, PSVR 2 reviews are coming in. People loving it, saying it's great. Technology is amazing. Main problem, doesn't have many games. It doesn't have a lot of games. It just launched, which is expected. But the main reason it has almost no games is because the PSVR 1 library is not available for PSVR 2, which I find weird. I don't understand the limitation taking place that doesn't allow the PSVR 2 to play games that require less power. So far the consensus is pretty much PSVR 2 is great, technology is amazing, don't get it yet, there's no games, which is typical for console releases. But talking about PlayStation, let's move on to some headphone news, because apparently, not headphones, earbuds. Because apparently Sony is developing earbuds for the PS5, which is weird. Apparently they're gonna be close to the AirPods from Apple. I find it weird, but I guess that a lot of people have been getting used to the AirPods, which would make sense to want to use that as your audio interface for gaming. But they're gonna be, supposedly they're working on that, which is gonna have 5 hours of battery life and its own charging case. But apparently Sony is working on another headset which is going to be similar to the ones they've already released. There's a rumor that there's going to be a new state of play next month, so we'll see if anything gets announced there. We've talked about PlayStation, now let's move on to Xbox. With the first news being that they have updated Xbox. Now it comes with a carbon aware downloads thing that I talked about like 2-3 weeks ago. So what this update does for the Xbox is, if you set it on, because it's an option, it's not forced, it's an option. If you set it on, then it's gonna do downloads and updates when it detects that the energy is coming from lower carbon emissions. So yeah, that's good for the environment and we all win. Also, It comes with an update to Google Home. If you have Google Home, it lets you control smart accessories you might have at home. This update allows you to use the app as a controller for your Xbox. Not as a controller. Not, you can't play games with this, but it's more like a media controller where you're able to, like, if you watch Netflix a lot on your Xbox, you can use your phone as the controller rather than having a controller right next to you wasting batteries. This is just great if you're someone that already uses Google Home like myself. Apart from allowing you to use the Xbox, it will also allow you to turn it on and off from the phone itself, so that's pretty cool. And then the final news, which came as a shock to some people. I don't know why it came as a shock, but apparently Game Pass is cannibalizing game sales. Okay, the comment does not come directly from Microsoft, but it comes from a report that was given to the United Kingdom's Competition and Markets Authority. Supposedly, this analysis showed that a redacted decline in base game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. So supposedly, when games get added to Game Pass, their sales decrease, which makes sense. If I have Game Pass and I'm interested in a game, and I see the game come to Game Pass, why would I buy the game? I can just play it on Game Pass. Here's the deal though, Microsoft has stated in the past that Game Pass is actually good for games. Especially talking, for example, about Forza Horizon 4, that since it came to Game Pass first, it led to more sales. As well as State of Decay 2 and Gears 5. So what's causing this? It doesn't make sense, right? How can Game Pass cannibalize games while at the same time being good for games? So they actually gave a very good reason, which is that games are unique. They're not a one-to-one comparison. Like, you can't compare Forza Horizon 5 with an indie game like Tunic. They're not the same game, they're not the same market, they're not the same price, they're not known as much. There's a difference in how popular they are, the audience they already have, the audience they have to get. Supposedly the way Game Pass works with developers and publishers is that they take all of these things into account and they formulate a deal that works the best for the publishers. That's the thing that we need to understand with a service like Game Pass and services like Netflix and stuff like that. It's practically the same thing. How many people buy movies now? It's decreased by a lot thanks to services like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and things like that. It makes perfect sense that putting a game in Game Pass is gonna lead to decreased sales in those type of games. But it also leads to more people playing games that they might not have played otherwise. Like I said with Tunic, of course putting a game on Game Pass leads to decrease in sales, but more people play it, or the chance for people to play it is increased. This might also be biased because, as you can tell, I love Game Pass. It's a great way to play games that I would not have played otherwise. That's all for the news today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave some feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like, so that I can hopefully improve this. It's a work in progress. Thank you for watching. Bye.